My name's Natasha Bamblett. I'm a proud First Nations woman and I'm here to acknowledge country. Hello, beautiful friends. We gather on the lands of the Aboriginal people. We thank, acknowledge and respect the Aboriginal people's land that we're gathering on today. Take pleasure in all the land and respect all that you see. She's on the Money podcast acknowledges culture, country, community and connections, bringing you the tools, knowledge and resources for you to thrive.
She's on the money. She's on the money.
Hello and welcome to She's on the Money. Have you and your bestie ever had a genius business idea over a glass of wine and thought, we could actually do this? I'm Victoria Devine, and today I'm chatting with two women who didn't just dream it up, they actually went for it. You've probably seen their cakes all over your Instagram feed, colourful and just as fun as they are, but behind the buttercream is a seriously impressive business story. Alice Bennett is the brains behind Miss Trixie Drinks Tea, famous for her pun cakes and vintage style piping. She started out as a sole trader baking from home and has grown her hustle into a thriving business. Joining her is Alicia Henderson, the creative force behind Sweet Bakes. She turned her whimsical hand-painted cakes into a full-blown company, has published 2 cookbooks and even competed on the TV show Dessert Masters. Together, they went ahead and launched Co-Bake Space, a dreamy pastel kitchen and creative hub built on community over competition. My friends, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us.
I am very excited about this, having ordered and received both of your products before. I was like, what the hell? Like our producer, Emma, came to me and she's like, I don't know, have you heard of? And I was like, yes, they want to come on my show. I'm obsessed. But like, let's dive into everything about you guys. Let's go back to the very beginning. Tell us about how you first got into baking. When did it stop being like just for fun and become a business?
Well, I started Miss Trixie Drinks Tea as a blog when I was in uni. Like if I'm really rewinding it back.
I know.
We went way back.
I was reading it. Oh my goodness me. Yes, we love an OG fan. Your branding has had a glow up.
Yes. We had a bit of a glow up since then. So it was a little, blogspot page and I was just publishing my love for desserts whilst I was studying marketing and PR at uni.
You posted on Instagram too.
Yeah, I did. Well, I was a little late to Instagram, but I finally got there with, those gorgeous like sepia filters.
It was perfect.
Yeah.
It was my aesthetic at the time.
It was great. I ran the business as a side hustle whilst I worked in marketing and PR. And then when COVID hit, I lost my job in COVID, which was fine. We're all fine for it. And I think I've mourned it. I've grieved it. We're past it. It's fine.
We're therapized.
And when we were in lockdown, I decided that giving Miss Trixie Drinks Tea a real crack would be like, why not? Like I had nothing to lose. So I did that and I came up with these pun message cakes that seemed to really hit and match the mood at the time. And they really took off and I just haven't looked back. So like my hand was forced to go from side hustle to a full-time thing, but like I genuinely wouldn't change a thing.
Adore. What about you?
This job that I currently have in the world of cake is the only professional career I have had, which I think is actually quite unusual for a lot of people. I think particularly in food, it is someone's passion or hobby that becomes a full-time gig. But I've been doing this since I was 19. So this is my 12th year in business. I was at uni studying
But you're only 21. How does that make
Exactly.
sense?
I know. I started when I was a mere child.
This is a money podcast. We're good at math
I
here.
know. No, but this is certainly not where I thought I was going to be. I was studying a journalism degree at university. Love writing, love the media aspect of things. And like Alice, was posting on the platform called Instagram and just had people pay attention to what I was doing as a little side project. So as most broke uni students do, they go, oh, isn't this a fun way to make some pocket money? And that is how Sweet Bakes in my professional career was born, and I haven't looked back.
Obsessed. I love this. And there's just something so exciting to me as someone who adores small business, when small business is genuinely born of passion. Like it's just like something that you were doing because you loved it, not like, oh, I'm going to sit down and work out what kind of business I could make some cash from, because you can just feel that energy in the brand. You can feel it in the content that comes out. And like I can make greens cakes. I can make some Betty Crocker
I mean,
cakes.
Perfect.
Well, I'm proud of you for at least getting the mixing bowl out. That's
Thank
very
you.
good.
I
You've gotta
own a
start somewhere.
KitchenAid. Yes.
Oh,
well
Good
done.
girl. I do.
Is it ornamental or are we using
it's
it?
more ornamental.
Okay,
I do
great.
have
It's a good look. It is a very
I'll
good looking
send you a
kitchen
picture.
appliance.
It would
Great.
suit your aesthetic. It's the pastel blue heritage
Beautiful.
one.
Oh, yeah.
Gorgeous.
Yeah. My
Very
husband bought it
nice.
for me, and I was like, why?
Maybe after today's little chat, you'll be more inspired to actually give it a crack.
I'm just going to keep buying your cakes, so don't tell anybody. Let's talk a lot about, I guess, this side hustle thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of our community are side hustlers, which I'm obsessed with.
Mm-hmm.
How did you juggle going from having other jobs before going all in? Because like this stuff involves, I would say, a significant investment in time, in money, in creative. Like you've got to pull it all together and you're doing it all yourself. How did you know when the right time was to take the leap and kind of back your own business full time instead of kind of like uni and this or work and this?
I think for me, it was about judging what there could be. I could feel the buzz building. So it wasn't like I just threw myself in without having that customer base or the attention on me. It's like when I felt like that attention was there from the Instagram and the emails and the orders, I decided to go full time with it when I really felt like, okay, like I'm not throwing myself in with absolutely no one who cares. I was
actually
very
know the appetite's here. I've tested it.
Yes, exactly. I did run my very basic 19-year-old numbers and be like, all right, if I can take on 6 weddings a week, like that is absolutely a sustainable income for me at this point in time. And I think my mindset too, being young, was why not? Actually, to be honest, I think I'm still like that. I feel I come from a family who I know are going to support me through whatever I do, and I'm always going to have a couch to crash on.
Yeah.
I pictured my worst case scenario, and my
like,
worst
mum's
case
couch
scenario,
is pretty
exactly. I'm like,
nice.
if this doesn't work out, I actually have a safety net behind me.
Yeah,
so
that's
why
so
wouldn't I
good.
just have a crack?
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And mine wasn't too dissimilar. Like even when I lost my job in COVID and I was doing the cakes during lockdown, you know, people were really responding to what I was putting out. And I am relatively risk averse. So in the back of my mind, I was like, I can go back to production and events and PR.
Yeah.
There is like a safety network there. But I had spent, you know, in those side hustle years, that was like pivotal brand building moments. So I was actually, you know, I was building a follower base, a community, like that was all happening in those side hustle days. So like the risk felt less because I had the follower base. Obviously in lockdown, like I didn't have a full-time job to fall back on. So it was like, well, I'm giving it a crack and it's working.
Yeah.
And so then when it came to like we came out of lockdown and I was like presented with, do I go back to production or do I do Miss Trixie? It felt like a safe option. It didn't feel too risky to me.
Yeah. And Alicia, you said something just before. You were like, I did my 19-year-old numbers. I actually think that there is something so beautiful about the naivety there because you're like, I can make this
absolutely.
work.
Absolutely.
Because if you did
Absolutely.
the numbers today about starting a business, I just know that you'd have so much more knowledge. And don't get me wrong, like we all want that knowledge. That's why I have a literal podcast
Yes.
to share it.
Yes.
But you kind of just go, can't be that hard.
No, and I think chasing enthusiasm is also an option. Like life is so boring and so serious. Sometimes it is just fun to chase your passion or your enthusiasm. And if it doesn't work out, like, oh,
See
good.
what
You'd
happens.
much rather have the experience and try something rather than not. I don't want to get to the end of my life and look back and be like, God, I wish I did that thing. I'm happy to like try it all and see what sticks.
Yeah, I love it. And did you do delusional numbers at the start and just feel like, can't be that hard?
Oh my God, absolutely. But
gonna
yeah,
be rich,
I mean, I kind
baby.
of wish I was 19 and doing those numbers because, you know, I was like, you know, I was comparing it to like a very safe salary in production, which, you know, was great. I think I really like the idea of being able to work for myself, be able to like work in cake every single day. Like it's actually a privilege to be able to do what we do in this. I'm like, I get to make cakes. Like last week I was making a Barbie cake covered in lollies and I literally had moments where I was like, I cannot believe this is my life. Like that's
Yeah,
insane.
100%.
People would kill to be able to do that every single day.
No,
I get
I
to
love
play
it.
with buttercream and cake. Like what a joy.
Do you eat a lot of it?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
all the time.
Absolutely.
like, I would
every
really
day.
struggle.
All the time.
Every day. I think I always say if we stop eating our own cake, well, something's gone wrong.
Yeah, I
Like,
agree.
I am yet
And
to
each
be
other,
sick of
like,
cake. And
oh my
each
God.
other's. Yeah.
And each other's.
No, we are.
And we'll tell each other.
Can we be best friends? I feel like I
Absolutely.
need to be.
Come on down.
Like,
Please
there is-
share
It's
the
also
load of the cake
it works
eating.
very well for like bribery.
you
Like I'm just putting
yeah,
it. We've
look,
got
it
something that we
would.
can bribe people with.
And I would like to point out that I've also married the right man, right? So he only likes the cake and not the buttercream. So whenever we get cake, I get all the buttercream.
Oh, there
and
you
that
go.
is,
My goodness.
don't lie, that's the best bit.
There you
That
go.
is so cute.
That's
what a
the
match
best
made in
bit.
heaven.
What a match made in heaven.
Exactly. I need to know the energy between you two is, I don't know, it's electric. Like it's really fun. I want to be more involved in this. How did you two meet and then go, oh, this friendship is more than a friendship, it's a business? Like,
Give us the meet cute story, Al.
Okay, there's so it's a classic case of us like following each other on Instagram and admiring each other from afar.
Fangirling
Fangirling from
ways.
afar,
Yeah.
very, very like intently messaging. That's sick, amazing, love that. You know, all of that.
that's
was
the energy that we want as women
From
in
the-
business.
Agreed.
Proper cheerleading.
And from
It
the
is the
OG, we
only
had
one
not
we
even met
accept.
yet. Yeah, we had not even met yet. So that was like that was the energy from the get-go. And then we both got invited to go along to this like pastry.
very formal workshop.
pastry
Yes.
workshop thing with this world leader in pastry. We walked in separately, but we were both very clearly not in chef whites. You know, we
The
were
only
in,
two.
Yeah, the
in
only
like
two.
pink dresses and
imagine.
like little
Chef
girly
whites.
outfits.
So cute
cute
girly
though.
outfits, makeup on, looking great. We were like,
Hello.
hey, you want to hang out? And that was the first moment that we met. And we just had such a great day. And needless to say, we also did the best. I
We
think as
did.
the chefs
It was,
felt
sorry,
the
of
pressure.
course you did.
So Legally Blonde, like never underestimate a couple of girls in pink because they might just be experts
Literally.
in mirror
What,
glaze.
like it's hard?
Yeah,
Yes.
literally, like it's hard. And the world pastry chef was so impressed by us, and we were just like, love this for us. And then, yeah, I shortly moved to London just after that, so we stayed in touch.
Rude.
I know, really rude. So the friendship kind of took like it was a bit of a distant relationship for a couple of years,
Love each
and then
other
we
from
circled
afar.
back.
Totally.
Yeah.
Still hype queens online though, that's
Yeah.
for sure. We circled back when we decided we both wanted to
Work together.
share kitchens.
Yeah,
We were both
thank
already
you.
working in separate shared kitchens
Yeah.
in suburbs that were actually quite far out from where we lived. So
Yeah.
we sort of struck up the conversation as professional friends. I mean, we've come together not as like friends who grew up together. We've
Yeah.
always been work friends. So yeah, we caught up for coffee one day and said, look, if you ever want to change locations to somewhere that's like a little bit more central for us, I'd love to share a kitchen with you. And that was like the original jumping off point for us to start having conversations about our partnership.
Yeah.
Didn't even know shared kitchens were a thing.
Yes.
Oh, they are?
Yes.
Like I work in finance, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
They
do you
are,
mean?
but
That
they
sounds
are.
so cute.
They're not typically like as involved with one another as like ours. They're a bit more like ghost kitchen.
Yeah.
You know, you might just do it by the hour. And that was the other dilemma that we had because we were investigating that, but it was like incredibly expensive. And that's why we were like, if we actually just did this together and took on a commercial building together, then
Smart.
yeah.
Which you do need to share for a lot of small to medium sized businesses in the food space. The outgoings are insane. Like food margins are really, really tight. It's a hard game to be in. So sharing a kitchen was always a no-brainer for us.
You guys said before, oh, like we haven't known each other forever and like you could absolutely fool me. And I love the idea that you guys are, you're hyping each other up and like I just think that there's not enough of that goes on in literally any industry that involves women. I feel like sometimes we look at people and because we are maybe not confident enough, we see them as competition instead of like friends who also are going through the same struggles. And you guys have managed to go completely across that.
Yeah.
And then I look at your new business, the one that you have together, Co-Bake Space, and it just feels like it's so collaboration over competition. And that's the energy we love to have, right?
Yes.
Like, sorry, I don't care if you're new to this. Come along, I'll show you everything.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of people assume, oh my gosh, I wouldn't want to give all of my tips and tricks away because if I do that, they'll copy me.
Yeah.
They can't be you, nor can they actually put the time and energy and effort and work in that you have over the years.
Yeah.
Why did that become such a big part of your vision? Like from my perspective, I'm like, that makes sense.
Of course.
But for a lot of others, they might go, why would you do that?
I think this whole scarcity mindset sort of underpins people who do feel that way. And I think both Alice and I absolutely do not have that in us. I think it is honestly natural to us. I hope that we'll become a case study for why you don't need to be that way one day. But it's like going into Mecca, right? And it's like if you went to Mecca and you only purchased one beauty product there, right? You only shop from one brand as a beauty enthusiast. Like that's never going to happen. Or you love food and eating out. You're never going to go to one restaurant for the rest of your life. So why would we have this mentality that, oh, I make cake, so therefore I have to compete with you. I can't share that with you. My customers want to come and eat cake from me, but they love cake, so they're going to come to Alice for a different occasion. So that's always been very important to us to acknowledge that our consumers actually have a brain for themselves and we can share the opportunities around.
And we
the
can do that
energy.
for people who come into Co-Bake as well. Like we
Exactly.
love being able to, talk to other business owners and share our knowledge and have like an open two-way conversation. And also like the world's pretty cooked. So it's a much nicer
Understatement
world.
of the year.
Yeah, it's like a much nicer world to live in, the world where we are like cheerleaders for one another rather than seeing each other as competition, or other businesses that come into CoBake as well. Like it is a far nicer world to play in.
And it's so fun. I can't explain to you how I have such a feedback loop for other people's wins. I truly do. There is something so exciting about watching someone so close to you or in the same building as you celebrate something, achieve something. Like that feels just as good as when I do it myself. It's such a wonderful part of our CoBake journey.
Yeah.
I love it. All right. I am going to stop us here. We're going to take a really quick break. And on the flip side, I'm going to want all the tea on literally what it's like to own a business with a friend. So guys, don't go anywhere. All right, welcome back. Before the break, we heard how it started, how you met, that maybe 19-year-old delusional numbers are actually a really great place to start. But now I want to get to the part that everybody kind of wonders about. What happens when you mix your mates with your money? Because it sounds so much fun, but also like really scary. And as somebody who has had failed business partnerships, I'm in awe. I'm like, oh my God, I wish that it had worked out for me. But what has been the best and then also the hardest part of running a business together?
So I think for us, the reason why it works is because we both respect one another. I think respect is like literally the core ingredient for a business relationship to stem from a friendship, because if you don't respect one another, or if you feel threatened by the other person, or like deep in you feel jealous or whatever, those feelings are going to come to the surface. So I think for us, like the idea that like I have so much respect for what Alicia has done with Sweet Bakes, and I know she feels the same way towards my business.
Absolutely.
So having that and knowing that that was like the foundation of our friendship, it made sense for us to go into business together, because we knew that feelings of jealousy, competition, feeling threatened by one another, they weren't there. Like they simply just didn't exist for us. So I think that's how we could actually take it to a business relationship.
I think some of the challenges that are inevitable are, I'm someone who is like a bit of a move fast and bake things, either way that phrase works. So I think the hardest challenge for me is now in a partnership is like, okay, we actually have to slow down because we need to have a discussion about it before we can just like move. But in the same degree, that's held me more accountable to make really solid decisions that I actually back, and having someone to bounce that off. So it has maybe like slowed down my natural pace in a way, but we have better communication and make better decisions because we actually have to go back and forth with each other. But I mean, this is we're approaching 3 years of CoBake, which sounds crazy that it's gone so fast.
We're having a party with cake.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh my God.
We need to re-sign the lease as well.
Oh yeah, we need to do that. Mental note, Kath. Yeah, we do that.
Mental note, Kath. We're just going to re-sign
And
the
then
lease.
we can have a third birthday party. And
So
it's
then we've
not a
actually
third
still
birthday
got content to
party.
speak about. I think the other reason why we work is like our skill set and our backgrounds are slightly different. So obviously I used to work marketing, PR, production. That's my background. I was in agency land, which if anyone works in a marketing or PR agency knows how tough it is. I come from a very like regimented background. So like I would come to a meeting with like, oh, here's a spreadsheet and like this is how I want calendar invites to look like and da. And Alicia is not quite like that.
Not in the slightest.
I feel like you were tiptoeing around that and you were like, oh no, raw dog it, that's fine.
100%.
No, that's not my journey.
I think I'm more of a like,
Well, no, because
just throw it out there and it might actually just be fabulous anyway, you know?
yeah, and it's like also I get a lot of joy out of being like incredibly organized, whereas you're just like, oh well, whatever.
Yeah, no feedback loop.
Is that also one of the hardest
that's
things?
fine.
Because like I work in a team and that feels like yin and yang. But like
Yes.
you need someone who's got their stuff together, but you also need the person who's like, just try it. Might work though.
Well, but again,
Alice, it might work.
I think again that's why that respect piece is so important, because
Yeah.
it's like I respect the way in which Alicia works and she respects the way I work. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to be like, well, you're crazy, like hello. I'm just like, no, that's how Alicia's brains work, and it gives you another perspective.
Yeah,
so I think it's also really
absolutely.
important.
I love that. And what would your advice be for my community who are like, oh, I've been thinking about starting a business with a friend? What do you reckon you would tell them?
Well, I think because we didn't come from a place of traditional friendship, it's always been a professional relationship. I would say that there obviously has to be conversations about your values as a professional that needs to be in play. I don't think it's just about the synergy of you're like, oh my God, but I love this person. I hang out with them and we have the best time together and we never fight. It's really about your values around money, around business that have to be absolutely aligned before you jump off into anything. And it really isn't for anyone. I feel like we hear so many horror stories of people saying like, I can't do this with a partner.
I've
because
been
I think
my accountant said he's never setting up another shared entity for me.
It's not
No, we
happening
want to
here.
be that example that it is that it is possible.
Yeah, totally. And what do you reckon, Alice?
No, I agree. I think when we were looking to do it and looking into venturing into this business partnership, and I know I'm harping on about the respect, but like we really truly respected each other's ideas. Nothing was ever shot down. Like I think you've got to, and like we gave each other the airtime to be able to talk about certain things. And we could identify very early on like what our roles in the business would be as well. So like we do have like we tackle different things because our brains do them better. So it's like, you know, in CoBake I would do like the invoicing and the booking agreements and the emails and stuff. And Alicia's like, I can do all the website stuff because like your skill is in, like you can do that. Whereas I'm like, I've got a bloody idea. Yeah, you're more creative than I am. So it's perfect.
I've broken our website before. I'm also banned from our website.
Nightmare.
Oh, good. You two are very alike.
Yes, I'm
So
not
maybe
allowed
you
to
two
play with
shouldn't
that.
go into a partnership. Perhaps that's what we're learning here.
We will admire each other from a distance.
Perfect.
Look, I want to go down a little bit more of a like formal business route, right? So like my brain automatically goes to like structures and how you decided to set up your business. And Alice, you started down the sole trader route, and Alicia, you went ahead and you were like, I'm going to set up a company. And both of those two things are completely different, but also make sense. One for both of you, but then also you could have swapped probably at the start and had similar structures. And then with the CoBake space, you guys have gone down a partnership model. Can you talk us through why you made these choices and kind of what the differences are? Because it's not just like, oh, we went into business together. Like, there's structure, there's actually tax we have to talk about.
Oh,
Like,
we love
we
talking
actually
about
need to talk
tax,
about
don't
like
we?
responsibilities. And it would be amiss of me to not ask about this stuff on She's on the Money.
Of course. Well, I was a sole trader for a number of years, a solopreneur for almost 10 years, to be honest. It wasn't until we actually moved into the premise of CoBake space that I switched to a company. And those reasons for me and Sweet Bakes was because I had some big plans about the way that Sweet Bakes was structured. I want people to choose cake instead of sending a bunch of flowers. I want people to send a cake.
I do, just so you know.
Excellent. That's why we love you.
Excellent choice.
That was always my sort of ethos moving into CoBake and the way that I wanted to take Sweet Bakes. To do that, I needed to make some really big corporate partnerships and some wholesale arrangements. So obviously that comes with all those other liabilities and all those gorgeous, sexy things and insurances. So with that and my staff that I now have, structuring it as a company is just far more beneficial to us when we're working at such a scale. I'm sure for Alice, her focus is on, speaking on your behalf, because I know you so well, is very much about that beautiful, personalised, customised service, which is a little bit more one-on-one, which doesn't require that. And then the structure of CoBake being a partnership, I think that really sets the tone of what we do, that it is a 50-50 partnership and the expectation from us both financially and effort-wise is 50-50. And that's what that partnership really, really acknowledges. I mean, it's like we can be very casual about it in the way that we do our day-to-day stuff. You know, it's not regimented the way that we go about CoBake, but at the bottom line of it, I think it really solidifies, like we are in this absolutely equally together.
Yeah, I always get a little bit of a red flag because I'm pervy, right? I don't think anybody has ever accused me of being like modest or like, oh, no, it's not my business.
Also,
like,
love
when
that.
people are like,
you never want to be modest.
No.
I'm
You know when
not
people
interested.
are like, oh, like I don't like gossip. I'm like, oh no, I love that. Like I don't want to be involved, but like I want to hear what your neighbor's friend's cousin did.
Yeah.
I just want to hear it. So like if I see a new business that's been like on my Instagram feed, I might do a little ASIC lookup.
Yep.
And to me, one of the biggest red flags is when I see a new business arise and it's like 49.51 and I'm like, oh, there's a power play there. Like that's not,
Yes, of
to me,
course.
that's not going to work. And don't get me wrong, my business ventures haven't worked for a plethora of different reasons, but it's never, ever been not 50-50 because I go, no, we come to this together. Like if we're not coming on equal playing
Yes.
fields. Why are we even doing this?
Yes.
So there's a conversation around that. Did you ever consider any other type of split?
No, but also I think understanding the way that we do co-bake is supplementary to our foundation business.
Yeah.
Alice has a thriving business. I have a thriving business. So I think the expectation for co-bake to be this big, crazy thing isn't there either. So coming to the table equally actually just makes far more sense. And the pressure is off in a way, which I think is probably why it's working so well for us, because our foundational businesses, Miss Trixie and Sweet Bakes, those are the ones that give us a salary.
Yeah,
Co-bake works
okay.
for a different reason for us. It's supplementary and it's fun for us. So
It looks
it's
fun.
It
Like,
is
I
so
want to start
fun,
a baking
honestly.
business so I can come and play.
It's great.
It's allowed us to generate income for those separate businesses via co-bake. There are collaborations that we do that come into the co-bake building. So, for example, say Merry People Gumboots came and did a gorgeous pop-up with us and sold their viral gumboots that you can typically only buy online. They wanted to do an in-person experience. They came to co-bake space and we provided them gumboot cookies and cupcakes. So co-bake obviously generated an income by the hire of the space, but then Sweet Bakes and Miss Trixie also ended up getting a lick of the ice cream
Yeah, of
because we
course.
provided treats for the event. So co-bake has, allowed us to
That's so
collaborate
great.
and generate more income in that sense too.
Can I have financial advisors and mortgage brokers come in and decorate finance cupcakes? Like, is that
Yes,
a thing?
yes,
I don't know how
absolutely.
that
We
would
do
work.
that.
It's
but
honestly more fun when we bring in people that are so far removed from food. We get a lot of sporting organisations come.
Perfect.
Footballers come and
Yeah.
do cake decorating classes.
Footballers doing cake decorating
Yeah,
classes.
Oh, you'd be
literally.
surprised.
So
They are good.
cute.
Yeah,
They're good. They
they're
lock
right.
in. They get really focused and
Yeah.
it becomes competitive.
Do you know what I was about to say? It's about the competition, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Because, like, if
Yeah,
they're
always.
sports people, they're like, well, I'm going to do it better.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we
I love
do
it.
encourage it.
We do encourage
Love
it.
Love a bit of healthy
absolutely.
competition.
See, that's the fun side of the business. And then if we like flip it, I would say that the admin side sucks. Like, don't get me
Yes.
wrong, I adore being in business, but you've got the like rough end of the stick, Alice, with being in the spreadsheets and doing all the invoices. Like, that stuff just kind of sucks. How do you keep on top of invoices and expenses and all of that not so fun stuff? Like, and I also want to know, like, how did you choose what to do in terms of systems to then free up your time so that you can actually focus on the fun footballer decorating cupcakes stuff?
I think both of us, like for Miss Trixie, Sweet Bakes and Co-Bake, we're pretty regimented in terms of like carving out time to actually do the admin. And I think it's also about flipping the fact that like, yes, it's can be seen as quite boring and it's not the creative, fun cake decorating, but it's an essential part of the business and it's so important to be in the weeds of that. It's important to see like the money coming in, the money going out, doing the invoicing, like having that visibility over your business will also like completely dispel your anxiety over it. So I think it's just incredibly important. With Co-Bake, yeah, we have like allocated time. In fact, this is our Co-Bake whip time. So like we would typically like carve out time
we
and
need
we
to
can
talk about anything.
Yeah, well,
No,
you
it's
know,
perfect. It's like I feel like all we
I'm
ever
an
want is an
ex-financial
excuse to
advisor. I
get
can
back.
try and contribute.
more just like need to invoice key client today. Like but-
over a long coffee. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. So we're very regimented in terms of that. But I just think it is like, you know, admin is going to be part of the parcel in any business that
Yeah.
you start or any job, truly. Like even when I worked in production, it's like you do a big activation and then you'd be invoicing suppliers or what have you. So it's just part of it.
Totally.
It's genuinely just part of life. But I think if you can flip it to see that it's going to give you transparency in your business, that's a benefit to you.
1,000%. And there's different aspects of it that we both enjoy in the admin category. Like you
Yes.
you love obviously the lists and the spreadsheets. I love the stats. I love a P&L. I'm like, I want to know about what's going in, what's going out and where we're at and project it. I love that
How are you
part of it.
generating that? Like, what type of software are you
Through
using?
MYOB.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. And at what point did you decide, do you know what, we're going to start playing MYOB? Because like that for a lot of small business owners, because you mentioned spreadsheets before. I used to run my entire business on spreadsheets, right? Like I would.
Oh, that made my heart start racing. Oh my God, can you imagine?
I'm sorry, do you want to see them? Because they're still sexy. I still think they're a flex. But like I used to do all my own P&Ls on spreadsheets, all of my own balance sheets, spreadsheets, payroll, spreadsheets. But that obviously leaves a lot of room for error. But I was trying to be so frugal when I started my business because I was like, well, I don't have any extra cash. I'm not even paying myself, let alone like
Yes.
an admin software. At what point did you decide, all right, well, let's invest in this? Because a lot of people go, oh, it's really expensive. I could do it myself. And I don't know about you, but I got shot in the foot and realized how much time I could save and was like, well, this
Yeah.
is
Well,
that's it,
humbling.
isn't
It's a
it?
time piece.
It's humbling.
Yeah.
I'm lucky that I had very good role models growing up. My father is self-employed and my mum did his bookkeeping. So
Perfect.
that and I know I
Alice,
feel
you're
like
a genius.
a little bit lucky that I
Not
saw
luck.
how that could be modeled
Not luck.
and the efficiencies of that kind of procedure. And also, like Alice said, I found it really empowering to be in my books, and I don't want to do the spreadsheets. So I'm like,
That's
if
fair.
someone
Yeah.
can auto-generate
Love.
and every day I can be logging on automatically and seeing how the business is tracking, like that is huge.
Yeah,
huge.
love.
Yeah. The automated systems, like I use MYOB as well for Miss Trix, and it
Yeah.
definitely has made a massive difference in terms of just like the automation and the fact that it's given me back time. I just sometimes like to do like a bit of a double check like on the side of
I still
like,
do as
you
well.
know,
And then I'm always humbled. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, yeah, there we're right.
yeah.
I just didn't want it to be
Yeah.
right, you know?
Yes,
like when it tells
precisely.
me how much tax
Yes.
will be owing,
Yes.
I'm like, that can't be right.
Yeah,
cannot
I'm not
be
interested
right.
in that
That
number.
can't
be
do
right.
that. No,
No,
that wasn't
there's
me.
no
I
way.
tried various platforms. I mean, the reason that I use MYOB now is purely because that's my accountant's preference. But I have tried various platforms over the years.
For me, it's also a lot about like the plugins and the things you can add.
Agreed,
And
yeah.
like, I don't know about you guys, but like I have like done all of my like outputs, but saved them as favorites. So all I do is go in and hit balance
That's clever.
sheet and like
Yep.
it just generates the
Yes.
balance sheet that I'm looking for. Because like
yes.
I know that I have my, I don't know if you guys do this and I'm about to ask, but
It's
like
so fun to see
I
how
have a little-
excited you get about this too.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love it.
lame, isn't it?
No, it's not. It's
But I
great.
have my own little meeting with myself once a month.
Great.
Because it turns out it's just me in business
Performance
now.
review for yourself.
But I go through all of my numbers and like compare it to the month before. And
Yes.
like I know what I want to compare, but I also don't want to have to go through and like tick every box every single time. So I just like saved them as like my monthly favorite
Yeah.
balance sheet or my
Great tip.
yearly balance sheet. And I, like that stuff, it saves time, but it means that, I don't know about you guys, the mental load of being like, oh my God, I have to sit down. It's actually really easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, when I got to that point, I was like, oh, maybe this extra cashola is actually worth it.
Worth it.
Absolutely worth it.
It
Yeah.
always is though, isn't it?
Of course.
Like
Of course.
And
I
these-
think it's the same
It's
mentality.
annoying, isn't it?
every time you're like, oh,
like
that
signing
was
up to
worth it.
a gym challenge or whatever. It's like, you pay for
Oh,
that.
that couldn't be me.
No, but you pay for that fee and it's like there's expectations and they're going to give you the outcomes of how are you running faster? Are you lifting more? It's like that's the same in the accounting softwares and making those spreadsheets
even
and saving those favorites. It's like you're holding yourself accountable to
Yeah.
constantly check in if you're
Well, like
paying for the
even
fee.
you recently switched your email platform.
Yes.
And I'd been banging on for at least, I was like, switch. You need to
tell
switch
me,
to Klaviyo.
what from, you're
Yes.
with Klaviyo?
I'm with
Yes.
Klaviyo. I'm like, you need to switch to
Okay,
Klaviyo. Like, there are all these amazing, like,
That's
flows.
so funny because I need to switch to Klaviyo.
Switch to
I
Klaviyo.
was just using the one
So
integrated in shop. It's so
expensive.
expensive. It's expensive.
But old mate, she's like, oh my God, the open rate is like double. I was like,
Yes,
I'm
so it
telling
is
you.
worth it. It is worth it. I was using the one that integrated because we run a Shopify
With
website as
Shopify.
well. I was just using it through there out of sheer convenience and it was very cost effective.
Yeah, I won't say who we're with right
Yes.
now because they're not awful, but like there's a lot to be desired
Yes.
or
Yeah.
being left to be desired.
Yeah.
And I was like looking at all the price points and I'm like, it's like
so
double.
expensive.
But I must
But
say,
yeah, the
I
open
must
rate is very
say,
good.
Since I've been using Klaviyo for probably 2 years, and this year has been like the 1 year that I've really focused on my EDMs. I've been really trying to be regimented and sending them out like every 3 weeks. And like obviously there's not like that much extra to say about cakes, but there's always something going on that you can talk about.
Oh, when
And-
there is a will, there is a way.
Precisely. And it's like one of those classic things, like you send it out and then you see this and you're like, oh, well,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
And people-
reminding people in another way. And obviously those subscribers, like the people that have subscribed, they're the tapped in ones. Your Instagram followers, of course, like you've got some very tapped in people, but the conversion is harder there than it is with your subscribers. So yeah, but it's just one of those classic cases.
Yeah,
I was
I
like,
have
come
no
on.
issues with sending emails either because I feel bad when if people have seen something on Instagram, I'm like, oh, this product or service we're doing is sold out. The people who are subscribed to my emails and they say, oh my God, I didn't even know. I feel like I'm betraying them if they don't get an email because
Yeah,
they do.
true.
They want to know, so they don't
do.
miss out.
That's why they're with you.
I feel like over the last few years, I've learned a lot about like these EDM flows and what that looks like. And complete side note that I wasn't even going to talk about on this show, but I've done a few podcasts on EDMs and making sure that like as a business owner, you actually own that because you don't own Instagram followers. Like Instagram can delete that.
Yeah.
But hypothetically, if that happened, you could email everyone at Miss Trixie Bakes and be like, hey, I'm still here this is my new account, and like make sure that you're in contact with them. But then they also feel like they have a more intimate relationship with you. Like if I'm opening your emails, I actually care. And you know what? I love when a brand is like, we're releasing a sale, but here's the link early. I'm like, hey,
Thank you so much.
100%.
Thank you.
100%.
I want to know. Or like you're doing a workshop or something.
Absolutely.
I want to be the first in the know. I might not always buy, but I always want to feel like I'm at that next level with that business or with that brand.
Absolutely.
And yeah, there's ways that people use and abuse that, but like it's like my EDM that goes out every single Friday. Like I write it and we send out a newsletter, and it's like my unhinged requests. Like I do recommendations. I've done everything from cake to frozen prawns. Like I'm always like, this is what's on my hit list this week, guys. Like
I love
So,
it.
but you can tell the brands that and the people who do that, who are actually invested and see
I love
their email
talking
as-
to my fam. And do you know what?
Yeah.
And you know that you're not sending it because you feel like you're being a nuisance. You're like, I am so enthusiastic. Let me
Also,
tell
if
you
you don't
about
want to hear
this.
unsubscribe, because some people reply to my emails and I'm like, hey, babe.
I love when that
Hello.
Hello, it's you. On the same vein, both of you have incredible social media presences. Like they are so fun. And you seem to be both really good at generating PR for your businesses and for co-bakes. Do you have any tips and tricks? Like what can I learn and what can my community learn, especially from you, Alice, who used to work in the space, about like building a social presence and gaining PR for that space? Because PR's savage. Like that's hard.
PR is hard. And it can be really disheartening as well, because often, PR is the game where you're wanting journalists to write about you organically, and that's a hard game.
Yeah.
But I think persistence is the biggest thing if you're going down the line of traditional media. You need to pitch, you need to bug journalists like there's no tomorrow, because they are always on the hunt for stories. There will be snow news days. Slow news.
Well, there will be slow news days.
Slow news days.
Not so much in Australia though. That's more of an American thing.
Yeah, but you just never know. And I think for me, like I've always approached Miss Trixie as like social media is incredibly important. But again, to your point, if that went tomorrow, then it's like, what else do I have? So for me, I was, when I was starting it full time, I was like, I want to be spoken about in the key Melbourne media. It gives you some notoriety. And I wanted that to work alongside my social media presence. I'm a bit of a traditionalist in that sense. And of course, like there are always moments that you can have quote unquote viral moments on TikTok or what,
TikTok.
On
Wow, she's really down
I'm really
with it.
showing
Yeah,
my like
She's up with the cool kids.
I'm down with the cool kids, the TikToks. So
My
you can
dad calls it the clock app, just to be
God.
clear. So
So, you can have all these moments, but I think if it's like a well-rounded strategy where you've got traditional PR, you've got social media, you've got brand, all of those components can give you a really, really strong social media presence, but it exists outside of that as well. That's what will lead to the conversion of sale, because you're going to look like a trusted business.
yeah.
But for anyone who is actually looking to engage with like traditional PR and contacting the media, it is a long game. It's a hard one. It's a game of rejection. You will get told so many times, oh no, not today, or like, well, we'll just put it on as like a
That's if you get a
footnote.
response.
That's if you get a
Supposed to be
response. That's
mostly
true.
ignored.
You're getting
Yeah.
advice.
But,
Wow, okay.
Don't take it personally.
Yeah, if you give it a crack and you strike up those relationships with journalists, it can be incredibly, incredibly beneficial. And when we started Co-Bake, I feel like, Leash had a really good idea around what we would do on socials. And I was like, I know what we're doing for media. Like, and we had it was very stressful because another media outlet got a hold of the story.
Oh my God, it was
we
like-
sold it in an exclusive. It was a whole thing. But
That would have given me
had a
such
full strategy.
anxiety.
Which is so funny. I'm like, we were just opening a
so
venue, but they were
intense.
treating it like we were giving like royal gossip. Like, who are you speaking to? And we want to be the
were,
first to break the story. And I was
truly.
like, guys, this is just a bakery.
We've been
No, it's not just a bakery. It's a whole ass community.
We
Sit
did
down.
literally.
feel loved and wanted, though. It was nice.
We've been harassed by a journalist. We had to call the other media, but like, someone's gotten the scoop. We need you to run this now. Like it was crazy.
Hilarious.
I know, it was
I
nuts.
think
love
that for you.
saying
I know.
about
I'm manifesting this energy for every business in my
Every
community.
business that you're in hot demand and the journalists want you.
I feel the way that you're speaking about traditional PR and playing this long game and having patience is also really applicable to social media, which is something we constantly talk about. Like, we are never trying to be the biggest, loudest, most viral person at every turn, because I just don't think that has longevity.
Yeah.
So when I'm making decisions for social media, it's about being authentic and making decisions that represent me and I'll be happy to look back at them in 3-4 years' time instead of just chasing trends and doing what the other person's doing. It's like, I would definitely discourage people from trying to be the coolest, hottest new bombshell that enters the villa, right? It's about staying power.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we know how that goes for their Instagram followers.
Totally.
Exactly.
And again, like you need to be doing what is, as you mentioned, authentic to you, and your followers will pick up on the fact that that is authentic, and they'll also remember you. Because I feel like if I see, some flash in the pan moments, I can't then tell you what the business name was. I can just remember the content, but I actually can't talk to who created it.
It's so annoying sometimes too, because you like tell someone about it and then you're like, oh, find that video for you. You cannot find the video for the life of you.
No, of course not. No, it's just doing what other people is doing. Yeah, okay, you might get the views and the clicks and the followers, but you're not making a lasting, authentic impression on people.
And for us, like we need to make a sale at the end of it too.
Exactly.
So if it's not actually leading to a sale of a cake.
No, a TikTok dance doesn't typically do that. It'll get you views, but it's not going to necessarily transfer.
That's very disappointing.
I know.
It really is. Because all I want to do is actually dance on TikTok, if I'm being so
It's like the last thing I want to do. So this strategy works really well for me, and I will lean very hard into, no, don't dance on TikTok. I was having a conversation with a girlfriend the other day, and she works in marketing, and we sometimes do giveaways through She's on the Money, and for me, something like that is always about just giving back to our pre-existing community. It's not like, please tag your friend and they have to be following and they have to do this and they have to do that, because you create a bubble of people that were only there to get the free hair straightener or the free skincare products, but you're there to sell cake and they might not even be aligned to that. So I think you have to be really strategic as well about the content that you're putting out, because do you want people following you because you're low-key really funny and making TikTok dances, which could never be me? Or do you want them following because they're like, oh my God, I've got to save her for later. I need to order a Leo season cake, or I need to do this or that.
You
and
always want
like
those people.
so
and even if
important.
they're not your buyer right now, they might be your buyer eventually.
6 months' time. Yeah.
I've had people who have been with me for 12 years. 12 years. And those are the relationships that I'm trying to nurture. It's like keeping people who are actually invested in me, in my cakes, in my business, in my story. Those are the people that I want to keep on side rather than always seeking out new faces.
And that's also been really applicable to Co-Bake as well, because we have had a lot of long conversations with people, but the timing wasn't necessarily right for them to come and use Co-Bake. So we've reached out to, so many brands and so many PR agencies, but again, we needed to create Co-Bake had to become memorable, that they would circle back and find a reason to use it in whatever which way. And that's been really, really important, right? What we've put out on social, so people are seeing that the space can be
used in a plethora of ways.
Yes. Precisely. Yeah. We haven't gone down that line of, making it just look like this flashy of the moment venue. It's no, this is a space that's going to exist and it's there for you when the time is right.
Yeah, I actually love that so much, and I'm really sad that we're running out of time. I have another question before we go. On this show, I always talk about money wins and confessions. So I want to know, what has been your biggest money win or your biggest I wish we had known this sooner lesson when it comes to running a business?
I think it's not even necessarily the financial gain that came out of this, but my biggest money win for me, I recently went to France and taught a pastry retreat, and the ticket, I know, it's the fanciest thing I have ever done. But the ticket
so cool.
price of
I will not shut up.
Oh, I won't. Well, we're going to be doing it every year, which is very exciting.
Can I come, or do I have to be a
please,
pastry
you can
chef?
come. There's a few more spots left for next year. Please come. I was really, really apprehensive about putting that online, because the actual price for people to come is the biggest ticket item I've ever sold. Of course, it's a week-long pastry retreat in a chateau. For me, the biggest money win there was the fact that it sold out and people actually came. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so used to selling these cakes at a few $100s. To have people invest their time and thousands of dollars to come on this experience with me was a huge, huge money win for me.
So
and just the most
cool.
amazing experience.
Congrats. How good is that?
Yeah,
and are you going to do it every year?
Every year.
Stop
I know. It's actually, my dream is to renovate a castle in France. So it's just that's my stepping stone to making that.
I love
It's going to be the Co-Bake Chateau.
The Gâteau Chateau.
Stop it. And also another thing that you're doing as well, tell me about book. books? Is there hypothetically a book
There
in the works?
is. Yeah, there
What
is,
does
which is
that
very
look
exciting.
like?
So I had the opportunity to publish a book with Penguin this year called Everybody Loves
Welcome to
Cake.
the family.
Thank you so much. What a lovely and honourable club to be in. So it's coming out in November. And it's
Stop
obviously,
it.
I mean, I think actually the premise of the book comes back to some of our ethos about co-bake space. I didn't just want to write a recipe book with absolutely fabulous cake recipes, but I've intertwined the stories about people's connection to cake within the book, because I think that is just so what we are about. It's about the story of cake, the way that it creates community and connection. And yeah, very excited about that
I'm excited, and
Oh,
we'll
I
make sure that
cannot
all
wait.
the info about pre-orders
very
is
kind of
in
you.
those show notes for everyone listening, because I just know that that's going to be so fun.
That's how you're going to use your KitchenAid. This is happening. She's going to make an Everybody Loves Cake recipe,
cake,
and
yeah.
we're going to christen the KitchenAid.
Absolutely.
your future.
One time I tried to make sourdough in it. Does that count?
Oh, wow, that's
absolutely.
ambitious.
That counts. That's expert
Sourdough's
level.
hard. That's next
yes,
level.
it was pancake flat. Yes.
It was a sourdough
it was a
pancake.
focaccia.
Yeah, it was a focaccia.
I meant to do that. It was
100%.
flatbread.
Never
Yeah.
let them know.
Exactly. And Alice, what about
100%.
you? What's your biggest money win or wish I'd known this sooner moment?
It's like a money win adjacent.
An adjacent.
An
money.
adjacent money win. Thank you.
Still a money win.
Yeah. I am an ambassador for Nissan, and I proactively pitched to them when I was only like 6 months into Miss Trixie, because I was telling the world that I was delivering cakes around Melbourne, but I didn't actually have a car. I was like, oh yeah, I'm delivering cakes.
Sorry,
Don't
don't
have a car.
let that stop you.
No, literally. So then I was like, I don't have the money for a car. Like I actually can't afford to buy a car. So I was like, I'm just going to ask some car companies
Shoot
and see
your
what
shot.
happens. Shoot your shot. I can only say no. And so I proactively pitched out to car companies, and now I've been a Nissan ambassador now for like 4.5 years.
Stop it.
And it was just like, I couldn't believe it. And I had a lot of people, including one family member, who was like, there's no way that a car company is going to give you a car.
Okay.
And
How'd that go for you?
That's literally like the minute someone says to me that you can't do something, I'm like, just
Let me
you
at
watch
it.
me.
Yeah.
Back to the start of this conversation. How hard could it be?
Literally. So I was like, I'm going to give it a go. And look, appreciate that I obviously have a background in PR where like pitching comes quite naturally to me, but I was just like,
So?
you can.
We have the tools. It's 2025.
Yeah, it's storytelling. So that was like a massive win for me, and it's been incredibly helpful to have the support of someone like Nissan getting me through,
obsessed.
and getting me around town, because I don't think I could do the job
No,
otherwise.
absolutely not. And also to have a brand that like backed you.
Yeah.
Like that's cool.
Yeah, it was very exciting. So that's been an absolute money win.
Sorry, that isn't money win adjacent. That
No,
is
yeah,
a
well, that's-
legitimate money win.
Yeah.
It was a great saving. Like, you know,
Seriously.
so that was a massive thing. I don't think of something that we might have like wish we had known sooner.
I know something that I did incorrectly from the outset as the naive 19-year-old. I didn't segregate any of my business and personal finances
Oh my
when
goodness.
I first started.
Iconic
So-
for mentioning this. I harp on and on and on
well,
about
okay,
it.
great. Let's like just reinforce that one.
It's hard when we work in
Separate
food. It
your
feels like the
finances.
supermarket run should be a business expense.
Yeah, no. Yeah, so learnt
The
the hard way.
chocolate
I think
chips.
No,
But
I remember.
also for me.
I remember my accountant saying to me once, she's like, "And what would you be using salmon for in your business?" I'd be like,
sweet quiche.
a sweet salmon cake.
Sorry, I didn't come here to be attacked.
Yeah,
That's so
literally. Sorry,
weird.
what do you mean?
You are not getting treats next time I come.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I've got a great one. Okay.
Okay,
A,
hit us.
way that we learnt by being burnt through co-bake. So
Oh,
look, as you can say, energy is like happy and bubbly and positive, and we think the best of everybody, right? We
Oh,
built
yeah.
this space to like really uplift our community and the brands and businesses that come through.
That
And
leaves you open to be taken advantage
absolutely
of.
does. Despite what we know, we did let that get the better of us. And unfortunately, we had another female founder who actually like totally skipped out on their bill with us because we were too trusting in the sense where we didn't have all of those things signed on the dotted line and the money in the account before an event. And we got absolutely burnt by it. So just to reinforce, even though we can be light and fluffy and think the best of people, those things, those contracts and
very
invoices
important.
exist for a reason.
And that is a really awful learning because obviously you've been
course.
financially hit by
Yes.
that. But I don't know, the rotten fruit always falls from the tree by itself. Like,
Yes.
That stuff.
It's an
If
unfortunate
you
lesson to be
become that
reminded of.
person,
Yes.
then you do you, boo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not sustainable.
No.
No, but it
And it
made our
just-
systems, we just
Yeah.
regimented our systems
Yeah.
about the way that we accept our bookings again. So,
Yeah,
you know,
good.
we learned.
Oh, I love
And
that.
I think people respect us for it. Like even like particularly the smaller businesses that come to use CoBake, they are like, oh no, they mean business.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if we don't hand this space back in a way that we found
Yeah.
it, like
our booking
you're gonna-
agreement is lengthy.
it is watertight.
Oh my goodness. I
Yeah.
actually hate that. And I hate that it was another female founder. Girl, what are you doing?
Girl, what are you doing? But yeah,
Ew,
sometimes
David.
Ew, David.
Oh my
Don't.
gosh. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me and talking sweet treats. It was such a fun chat. And I just know my community is going to absolutely love this episode and want to follow both of you and order your books and order your cakes and come into your co-working space. I'm
Please.
so excited about it.
Thank you so much for having us on the show.
And
Love
for
it.
anyone who's not already stalking your amazing sweet creations, I obviously will put all of their info into the show notes to make it as easy for you as possible to find them. And if you loved this episode, please let us know in the comments or share it with someone else who's got big, sweet business dreams. Don't forget to follow and subscribe so that you never miss an episode. We've got more inspiring chats coming your way, and I'll see you guys on Friday. Bye.
The advice shared on She's on the Money is general in nature and does not consider your individual circumstances. She's on the Money exists purely for educational purposes and should not be relied upon to make an investment or financial decision. If you do choose to buy a financial product, read the PDS, TMD, and obtain appropriate financial advice tailored towards your needs. Victoria Devine and She's on the Money are authorised representatives of Money Sherpa Pty Ltd ABN 321 649 27708 AFSL 451289.